Hello there, this is your midday news from our Vox Africa studios in London. I am Pamela Bonkiyoung. Let's start off with updates from the Kenyan ambush. The number of policemen killed in an ambush in Kenya by cattle raiders has risen to 42. The attack, which happened in the remote northern county of Samburu, was as a result of police trying to return stolen cattle. According to a local official, the attackers used sophisticated weapons such as anti-personnel bombs and rocket-propelled grenades. 9 policemen are seriously wounded and in hospital. Katu Ole Metiko, Kenya's internal security minister, has vowed to bring those responsible to justice. Mauritania's president is still out of the country 1 month after being mistakenly shot by armed forces. President Mohamed Al Abdel Aziz is still in France recuperating from his wounds. President Aziz was shot on the 13th of October by Mauritanian armed forces when his car did not stop for a military checkpoint. Guards opened fire on the 55-year-old's vehicle, injuring him in the stomach. Argentine ministers have issued an ultimatum for Ghana to release its naval ship. Yesterday, the ministers said they would lodge a case at the United Nations Tribunal against the Ghanaian government if it failed to release its vessel by today. The country says it is against international law for a warship to be seized in a foreign port. The Libertad ship has been detained in Ghana's Eastern Tema port since October 2nd. This follows a court order obtained by NLM Capital Limited, an American hedge fund company which claims Argentina owes it over $300 million when it defaulted on its loans in 2002. The Partnership Africa-Canada Campaign Group, otherwise known as PAC, has accused Zimbabwe of diamond theft worth at least $2 billion. The group released a report today called Reap What You Sow: Greed and Corruption in Zimbabwe's Marange Diamond Fields. According to this report, the Marange Diamond Fields has enriched Zimbabwean officials, international gem dealers and criminals. However, the PAC report has been rubbished by a Zimbabwean mining official who dismisses the allegations as false. President Robert Mugabe has in the past said his government is committed to observing international laws on diamond mining, storage and trading. The country's ban was lifted in 2011 by the Kimberley Process, the diamond industry's watchdog. 5 African countries have been elected to the United Nations Human Rights Council. The USA has been re-elected and they will all serve a 3-year term of office starting on January 2013. The Human Rights Council has often faced criticism for focusing excessively on Israel.
The following 18 states have thus been elected members of the Human Rights Council for a 3-year term of office beginning on 1 January 2013. Argentina, Brazil, Cote d'Ivoire, Estonia, Ethiopia, Gabon, Germany, Ireland, Japan, Kazakhstan, Kenya, Montenegro, Pakistan, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, the United Arab Emirates, the United States of America, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. I congratulate those states which have been elected members of the Human Rights Council, and I thank the tellers for their assistance in this election. This concludes our consideration of sub-item D of Agenda Item 110. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Always a pleasure.
Let's move from Africa now into inland Europe, though the Greek parliament on Sunday passed its 2013 budget just by a comfortable margin and also succeeded to pass its austerity measures last Wednesday. The Eurogroup of finance ministers from Europe have commended the country's political will. However, Greece has only succeeded in buying more time for itself as on Monday, international lenders agreed to give the country 2 more years to make the necessary cuts demanded by the International Monetary Fund and the Eurozone. Let's hear from the movers and shakers involved in the Eurogroup and the Troika.
The Eurogroup concluded that the revised fiscal targets, as requested by the Greek government and supported by the Troika, would be an appropriate adjustment for the further path of fiscal consolidation in view of recent economic developments.
It is worth noting that the improvement in Greece's structural budget balance has already exceeded the 10 percentage points required at the start of the first programme in May 2010 for the period from 2009 to 2014. In fact, Greece has already improved its structural balance by no less than 13 percentage points of GDP since 2010. And this margin will increase further with the implementation of the additional measures foreseen for 2013 and 2014. I hope that all those who openly dismiss the potential of this programme to restore fiscal sustainability by Greece will dwell on these important figures.
All avenues in order to reduce debt on Greece are being explored, will continue being explored in the coming days, and this is clearly the appropriate route to take in order to make sure that the sustainability of Greek debt can be ascertained.
Good night.
Missiles were fired from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel, generating an offensive response from Israel. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a meeting with foreign ambassadors to prepare for any censure from the international community. Israel has been firing retaliatory rockets into Hamas's governed Gaza. Since Saturday, 6 Palestinians have been killed by Israeli shells, including 4 civilians. 40 people have been reported wounded. According to a Palestinian official, Egypt has been trying to broker peace talks between Israel and Hamas. Here is Israeli Premier Benjamin Netanyahu.
For the rights of our people to defend themselves, we'll take whatever action is necessary to put a stop to this. This is not merely our right, it's also our duty.
Now, the parents of a U.S. freelance journalist who went missing in action in Syria have launched a public appeal for the Syrian authorities to release their son. Austin Tice is believed to have been held in captivity in Syria. 31-year-old Tice, whose work is featured in the Washington Post, disappeared in Syria in August. The U.S. State Department believes he is very much alive and held by the Syrian government.
We're the parents of Austin Tice, a journalist who was last working in Syria and with whom we've had no contact since August 13th. We're here today to appeal for information about Austin. Is he well? How can we contact him? And how can we return him to our family? If anyone who hears this has any information about Austin, and especially what we can do to bring him home, please contact us. We ask whoever is holding Austin to please treat him well, keep him safe, and return him to us as soon as you can. Thank you very much.
In yet another embarrassing twist for the UK government, the hate cleric Abu Qatada will not be deported to Jordan just yet. It's been over a month since the Home Secretary Theresa May assured the country that Qatada will leave the country for good, but the cleric succeeded in getting a bail. In a case which has spanned over 8 years and cost taxpayers over £30 million, the Special Immigration Appeals Commission ordered the cleric's release, arguing the government strongly disagreed with Abu Qatada's ruling. The 52-year-old, once described as Osama bin Laden's right-hand man in Europe, is expected to be released from Long Lartin High Security Prison today. Let's get some reactions from the Home Office Secretary Theresa May and Gareth Peirce, Abu Qatada's solicitor.
In addition, Mr. Speaker, torture has been illegal in Jordan since 2006, and last year the Jordanian constitution was amended to make clear that not only is torture forbidden, but any statement extracted from a person under duress or the threat thereof shall neither be taken into consideration nor relied on. That is a direct quotation from Article 8.2 of the Jordanian constitution. Despite these assurances, despite the determination of the Jordanian government and judiciary to allow Qatada a fair trial, despite the change to the Jordanian constitution that expressly prohibits torture and the use of evidence obtained by torture, in the absence of clear case law, Mr. Justice Mitting still found in Qatada's favour. In doing so, we believe he applied the wrong legal test.
It is important to reaffirm this country's position that we abhor the use of torture, and that a case that was predicated upon evidence from witnesses who've been tortured is rejected by the courts of this country as by the European Court. We clearly agree with the decision, of course we do, but it is important in emphasising the fundamental rules of law that we subscribe to. So to that extent it is important for other cases and not just for this case.
Why it has been a cake fanfare in Switzerland as a Geneva pastry maker has produced the world's longest millefeuille cake of 1,221 meters. It is all for a good cause, as it was meant to raise money, with a 1 centimeter slice costing $1 each. The pastry maker hopes to raise 100,000 Swiss francs and donate it to the Swiss Breast Cancer Association. The cake was put together by 50 professionals and some 150 volunteers. Now let's get some impressions from the gastronomic delight chef.
Well, the current world record for the longest millefeuille belongs to Belgium. It was in 1992, and that measures 1,037.25 meters. So that's a lot of millefeuille. Today they're attempting the Guinness World Record, and they're going to try 1,200 millefeuille.
To try and quantify the millefeuille, I think we've spent some 1,000 working hours producing the parts of the cake. And to give you an idea, we're going to produce 1,200 bags of cream. And in this millefeuille, that will make 1,200 meters. There are 3 layers of biscuit, so we've had to make 3,600 kilometers of biscuit. You have to know that this corresponds to 1 ton of biscuit, and for this we've used 800 kilos of flour and 400 kilos of butter. To give you some quantities, since the beginning of this week we've started making the cream, and we're going to make chocolate cream because we're in Geneva, and we've decided to make 2 creams, 1 dark chocolate and 1 of milk chocolate. And to give you an idea, this corresponds to some 3 tons of cream, of which 400 kilos are pure chocolate. We've worked with special Bolivian cocoa, and we're going to glaze our cake with a pink icing, the color of breast cancer, with around 300 kilos of glaze.
So every centimeter of millefeuille costs 1 Swiss franc. So we're going to sell pieces of 50 centimeters each, so we hope to raise a maximum of money. But it's also great to be able to gather this many people around this cause.
Well, thank you for watching, and we shall see you in a moment. Interview announcement. 5 African countries have been elected to the United Nations Human Rights Council. The USA has been re-elected and they will all serve a 3-year term of office starting on January 2013. The Human Rights Council has often faced criticism for focusing excessively on Israel.